Okay. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another one of our live webinar sessions. My name is Hamira Taylor, and I'm an admissions counselor and recruiter with the University of Maryland Eastern Shore. So thank you for joining us. And today's session is going to cover the topic of the Department of Business Management and Accounting. And today we have a special guest, Mrs. Lisa Thomas Banks, who is joining us today. Mrs. Thomas Banks is a acting chair for the department, and she'll be sharing some great information about the programs with us. So thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for the invitation.
You're welcome. So the program today is just going to be me asking a series of frequently asked questions that students often ask about our programs in business administration, marketing, accounting, and finance. And just kind of going over the different opportunities that are available and just describing the type of programs that we have here. And at the end of the presentation, if we have questions, we'll be happy to answer those live. And at the end of the presentation, we'll also post the recording of this webinar to our YouTube page so that students can access it later. Okay. So with that being said, I'll go ahead and jump into the first question. So Mrs. Thomas Banks, could you please describe your role at UMES and how students will work with you throughout their time in the BMA programs?
Well, I am the interim department chair, and I serve as really an advocate for the students as well as the faculty. And I also teach classes. So students will work with me on many levels. I will be teaching them some of the required business courses, which is legal environment for business. And I also sometimes teach communications, which is another required class. I also serve as advisor for students when they're transfer students and the seniors. And then in addition to that, I am the faculty advisor for the National Association of Black Accountants, which is the main club that we have on in the department, where if you're a business major, you don't have to be an accounting major, but as long as you're a business major, you can join and participate. And we have different activities and speakers that come, and I work with the students in that area as well.
Awesome. Now, could you please discuss the relevance of having a strong business acumen to all types of professions and industries? This is particularly for those who may not be certain of what they want to study when they come into UMES.
Okay. Well, our program is an AACSB accredited school institution, and so we have a curriculum that is of high quality. And that means that we've hired faculty that are of high knowledge levels, great education, and they have experience in their fields, and they are ready to prepare you for working in business. And so the importance of having that strong acumen is that it means that by the time you graduate, you're going to have a clear understanding about how business works, as well as the keys to success in your field. Of course, no one can ever prepare somebody for every last thing that's going to happen if you open your own business or if you work in a industry. For example, COVID-19, who knew how to handle all the things that have happened since then with regard to business? But we're going to give you the tools so that you can be a success. You'll understand marketing your business. You'll understand the financial aspects, whether it's accounting or finance. You'll learn the management side of things. So we give a very well-rounded education.
Now, a lot of students often ask what the differences are between business administration, marketing, accounting, and finance, especially as it relates to the type of careers they can pursue with those degrees. So could you describe the differences?
Sure. Well, the business program is set up where the freshman year, our freshmen take general education courses. And that includes one class each term that is focused on business itself. It's a computer course as well as a introduction course to business, which is not called Intro to Business, but it's a freshman experience course that tells them a little bit about the business field. But then by the sophomore year, we're taking business courses. Those business courses include economics, accounting, communications, speech, other computer type classes if they are interested in taking those. Students will be taking ethics courses, and those are all the business majors. So we have marketing, finance, accounting, and business administration majors. And then when they get to their junior year, it's specializations. So they will get into specific for their major business courses. So for example, the marketing students will take courses geared towards a marketing career. So that could be marketing research, or it could be a design course, or a sales course, or a retail course. And then the finance majors will do the same thing. They're taking finance specific courses their junior and senior year. And then accounting, same thing. And business administration is a wider range. So what happens with business administration, you're learning the management style, but you're also learning all the areas of business. So you're taking some marketing classes, some finance, some accounting. And so you have a broader range and broader scope. And then you can choose elective courses that are geared towards your area. So some students are interested in entrepreneurship, and we have a minor in entrepreneurship that you can add. But if you want to just major in business administration and maybe focus on the classes that have to do with being successful as a business owner, you can take those classes as well.
Okay. Now, could you describe in more detail the rigor of our programs and how students will be prepared for the career force or graduate study after completing the undergraduate degrees at UMES?
Sure. Well, our program is AACSB accredited, so that means that we have certain standards. AACSB stands for the Association to Advance Collegiate Schools of Business, and that's the highest level accreditation that a business school can get, and it's an international accreditation. So it is meant to not necessarily only standardize, but to raise the level so that you're not just getting a general business education, you're getting a high quality one. And so we will have our students go through different case studies and projects and different courses that are dealing with business specific areas depending on what their major is. So for example, the marketing student will have a course in marketing research and analytics, which makes them really prepared for the workforce that they're entering into. And it's also up-to-date information they're learning, and not things, you know, that maybe people learned 30 years ago only. Some of that is the basics and we have to learn that, but we try to keep everything current. Same thing with the finance majors. We like to look at the market and you know, investment. And one of the things, one of our professors, she does an excellent job of this. They actually get to see her portfolio and follow it live. So it's a very current and rigorous program that we give our students. And then of course, accounting, same thing. We have students that end up with fantastic jobs after graduation. They're taking classes in auditing and tax, and they're taking classes in cost and budgetary accounting, government accounting. And so it's up to date, it's current, it's also a program that prepares you for internships and jobs.
Now, what type of resources are available on campus that foster student success in these programs?
Well, the university has several, and the department does as well. Let's start off with the university. The university has a tutoring program through the CAS Center, and that's an excellent program. We usually have several of our students work there as tutors, and they can help students succeed who are having difficulty, whether it's in an English course or an accounting course. So it's very widespread. The assistance that's given to students is in the form of tutoring. There's also counseling services available on campus that is really important. I know that I have a student advisory board that I meet with on a monthly basis, and students have expressed that, you know, sometimes they're going through some struggles from leaving home and being with their parents and then all on their own. And so the counseling service is there. We also have help in the department. We have several faculty that have volunteered to tutor, and we also have an open door policy. So if students are you know, they're struggling with something or they're perplexed about what to do, they can come to us first, and then we can direct them where they go next.
You. Now, well, you briefly touched on different success stories and examples of different careers that students have pursued after graduating from our program at UMES. Does anything specifically jump out at you as far as like a recent student that's gone to work for a well-known company and the great work that they're doing now that students may be interested in knowing about?
We've had several actually. We have our different majors have different internships that some have gone to year after year, different groups of students. For example, Enterprise has employed quite a few of our students, and we have a student that interned recently. I think it was last summer with JP Morgan, and then they were given an offer for after graduation. So she's starting in Dallas this summer. And we have others that have worked at KPMG and Deloitte and other accounting firms. We have a lot of different programs. Like, for example, last summer we had some students who got jobs at Cisco and worked at Amazon and in banking industries. So we have a lot of places that students have gotten internships and had wonderful opportunities, and then offers for after graduation as well. We're very proud of our student success, and I think that if a student is interested in an internship, we can help them find it. Of course, their grades have a lot to do with it, so keeping up with your grades is something that you must do. But in addition to that, we are there to help you learn how to apply and give you options for applications.
Awesome. That's a great segue into my next question that talks about internships. What type of standards should students maintain in order to qualify for an internship or be a strong candidate? And what type of internships have students done in the past?
Well, I really advise students to keep your GPA as high as possible. Of course, for the internships, depending on your industry, if you're in accounting, really a 3.5, 3.7 or higher is really what is needed for that to get the best internship opportunities, and to really have that, where you have a choice of many options. We had a couple students this semester that had more than one offer, and that's a fantastic position to be in, and that's what we'd like to see our students do. If you're in the business administration, marketing industries, those definitely 3.0 or higher, and depending on what specialization you'd like to go into, it might require 3.5 or higher. Finance is similar to accounting. The higher the better. We've had our student just get accepted into a fantastic master's program, one of our graduates from marketing, and we've had some even work with the government and have internships as well as job offers for after graduation, working with the federal government as well.
Awesome. Now, we also have several different professional student organizations on campus that allow students to get more exposure to the field and build their network and get more experience. Can you talk a little bit about the student organizations that we have on our campus?
Sure. We have lots in the business department, and so I'm going to talk about the business-specific ones because that's what I'm more familiar with. And that is NABA, which is the National Association of Black Accountants. They have a chapter in our campus, and so our UMES chapter is a strong chapter and very active. The group is very connected with each other, and it's a really wonderful organization to be a part of. And what it offers is internships as well as speakers that will come in and talk. In fact, we just had Deloitte reach out to us to come in the fall to speak with the students about a career in accounting. And one of the wonderful aspects of being part of an HBCU is that we have people who are working at these particular places that were from the an HBCU from UMES, and now they're reaching back to us so that they can take part and be involved with students. Another organization we have is a student investment club. That club meets, and like I told you, there's a couple of professors that work with them, and they'll even show them their own portfolio and talk about what has gone well with investing, what hasn't, what are best practices. And we also have the marketing club They are a group that is working on different things. Now, we've had some of the marketing students work with one of the fashion groups and start with a fashion show they planned and different things. So even if you're not necessarily a fashion major, you can get involved through the marketing club and the marketing group with their organization as well, and learn some hands-on marketing skills.
Now, are there any departmental scholarships available for incoming students or continuing students that pursue these programs?
We do. We have a few different scholarships available. For example, there is a scholarship that's available every year for an entrepreneur who is active in entrepreneurship. And there's that one is one that students don't necessarily know enough about, I guess. They know about it, but they just don't apply. And so that's one of the ones that is really a great opportunity for students to get some funds. There's others that are available depending on where you're from. So for example, we have some that are specific to students who are pursuing a particular major and are from Eastern Shore, Virginia. We have some that are very specific regarding if you're an accounting major, etc. So there's opportunities there, and we encourage students to apply for them, to come to the office or email us and ask questions about what's available. Many are based on GPA, again, so that's why we encourage that strong GPA. In fact, if I could tell a student one piece of advice is your freshman year, make sure you don't just party the whole time. You have to focus on your studies and passing Math 109. Those are the two keys to success in your career as a business student at UMES, is starting strong. That doesn't mean that if you didn't start strong, it's hopeless for you, but that's the best way. If you're an incoming student, start strong, get through that math class, and then you're on to success.
Great advice. And with business management and accounting being common at a lot of different universities, why should students consider UMES to pursue programs?
Well, UMES is an HBCU, and we have small class sizes. We have a lower faculty to student ratio, and so we offer a lot of personalized attention. We have a lot of professors who really care about students, and it's not that they just are doing a job and checking out right afterwards. They spend time, spend late hours even, have an open door and even a phone policy where they can just call if you have a question. And so we have a lot of personalized attention that we offer our students. And when you think about a larger university where you're just a number, in fact, I had one student last year come, and they were a non-traditional student, and he indicated, he said, if I had known that this is what it was like here, I would have started here because I felt like I was just a number at my other school. He transferred in, and he really felt that connection with both the faculty, and then the students are also great here. We have a wonderful group of students that interact well with each other. They have fun activities that they do. There are potlucks that they get together with, and fun activities such as, like I said, the fashion show that is planned on campus, a few of them that go on. And so it's a great atmosphere to be a part of. And I think that makes the difference. It's not just, you're just not just a number.
Wonderful. Yes, I agree with you. I think that feeling like a part of a family-oriented environment where you can really have one-on-one type of relationships with your faculty really helps students be successful during their time. And those relationships last a long time, even after graduation. So that really helps with building a network and connecting you with different employers and companies that you may want to work for in the future. So awesome. Well, that wraps up my questions. Thank you for your responses. I think that touches on a lot of different areas that students often ask about. We'll go into the Q&A session piece of the webinar now. So we have a few people who have joined us today. Are there any additional questions that our viewers have that maybe you missed or that we didn't cover? You can just type them into the chat box, or you can ask, because you can unmute yourself and ask, because there's not a lot of us here. So If there are any questions, feel free to ask. Okay, so thank you, Mike Brown, for your question. Mike Brown asked, is it possible to combine a business degree with computer science?
Yes, it is. We've actually had some students that majored in accounting and computer science. We had another one who just graduated and is going on to graduate school. She actually minored in computer science. And so you can do that definitely. And it is a more rigorous program that you're going to be going through, but it is possible. She graduated in 4 years and she had a very high GPA and was able to complete it. And really great job offers when you have that combination, especially if you do accounting and computer science. Very good options for you.
Definitely. Okay. Any other questions?
While somebody's thinking about questions, I didn't mention all of our minors. We do have a minor in accounting, a minor in entrepreneurship, and a minor in business administration. So that's another way to get a business degree. If you decide that you are interested in computer science more, you can minor, and we have a lot of students that do that too.
How many credits would students be required to complete in order to achieve that minor?
Depending on which minor it is, they have a couple prerequisites, but some of them are also required for their major. So it's I believe 16 is what they'll complete in the end.
Okay. And is there, I guess, benefit, or do you think students should be encouraged to, say, pursue one area of business like business administration and also minor in like accounting or something else just to give them a broader background? Or do they pretty much cover like all bases regardless of what program they're in?
Well, the accounting minor or business minor cannot be done with a business degree. The entrepreneurship minor can be, though. So the business degree will cover enough, and then they can choose electives that are minors. That would be almost like the minor courses. So let's say that you want to be a business major, but then you decided at the last minute that you really like accounting. You can choose some of those accounting classes as your electives that you have to take, and then get that knowledge of accounting so that later on you can go on to do an accounting degree. Okay. Or just take the CPA exam after completing the classes.
Wow, I learned something new today. Wow, I didn't realize that you couldn't do certain business degrees and minors at the same time. So that was good clarification. Thank you. So I received a question from someone asking if we're going to talk about aviation science. Not today. This webinar is just for business management and accounting. However, we do have a live aviation science tour coming up for Instagram. So visit our social media page to find out when that is. And then we'll discuss all about that program on that day. Are there any other questions before we wrap up? Okay. All right, well, I think that's it. Well, thank you so much for your time and sharing a lot of great information. And I encourage students to visit our website to learn more about these different programs and opportunities. And I also encourage you all to tune into our next event, again, which can be found on our social media pages, UMES_admissions on Instagram and Twitter. And any final thoughts before we wrap up?
Well, I hope that you choose UMES, and I look forward to seeing you in the fall.
Awesome. Well, take care, everyone. Thank you for joining, and have a great rest of your day.